Hey, what is going on, you guys? My name is Rayge, and we are back today with a quick overview of Green Goblin, the classic edition now in the game. We can take a look at his kit, but as well, all of the Sinister and Superior 6 stats overview, so we can get a sense of which characters we should be focusing on, especially if you guys are interested in the synergies. But this is a huge and notable addition to the game, especially given the number of characters, and I'm a huge fan of the Spider-Verse, so always love seeing additional new characters getting added. Yeah, so let's get right to it. Super exciting times. I wonder if they're going to be adding this in the way of a couple of patches, just because of the number of characters involved, but as well the reworks that's going to be taking place here. So first and foremost, huge shout out to Benny Westside for his infographics. I'm sure you guys probably have seen it from other content creators, but you know, he circulated this in terms of the kit overview for Green Goblin Classic, now confirmed as the legendary, and as well, he's a City Tech legendary. He has this unique ability to actually prevent vulnerables from being applied on the team, and as well, they're expected now to be a Cosmic Crucible setting team. So allow me to zoom in here, guys, just to show you what he's going to be doing in terms of his abilities, right? His Goblin Bomb, attacking primary and adjacent targets for percentage damage. On Crucible offense, they're going to be gaining additional crit chance for each Spider-Verse character, and this attack cannot be counterattacked as well. We have this special, which is a very low cooldown, as you can see, starting off, and it does already a lot from the very beginning, gaining offense up, speed up, clearing barrier on the primary target. So I can see a lot of value for Dark Dimension 6 here, and beyond that as well, of course. Attacking primary target for percentage damage, and as well reducing the speed bar by 25%, flipping random positives to defense down, flipping all their positives to negatives, applying trauma and heal block. And as well, in Crucible, the trauma is actually going to be lasting for 2 full turns. If they have Safeguard, actually, he's going to be gaining offense up and speed up, and as well as attacking for additional damage and reducing the speed bar per Sinister 6 ally. So, I mean, he's doing a lot with such a small cooldown ability. I can see immense value in not just Dark Dimension, but across all game modes. It's going to be super exciting to utilize him. Goblin Bombardment is his ultimate, so you do have to wait a couple turns to utilize, but again, similar to the special, clearing all barrier, attacking enemies for percentage damage, and it's going to be actually adding additional damage with Safeguard, flipping positives to negatives, reducing speed bar for all enemies, and this is going to compound with Sinister 6 allies that you have on the team. In Crucible, this also does clear charges, and it repeats, right? So this is going to be really cool to see how it gets you know, animated in the game, but in terms of the damage wise, it's going to do a lot, and especially if this character has one or more Sinister 6 protector allies, he's also applying Safeguard to the Sinister 6 team, so that way ensuring that their conditions actually stay on put. On the Awakening ability here on Crucible offense, he's going to be gaining 2 charges up to maximum 5 times. True Osborne is his passive. He's going to gain 3 charges at the very beginning here, up to maximum 5 times. So obviously there's a mechanic here for that. On the Awakening aspect, Crucible offense, he's going to be applying defense up as well. So obviously a really good value if you have his Awakening abilities. While this character has charges, damage is lowered by 15% for all enemies. Resistance is also decreased. Ability block and vulnerable cannot be applied to self or any Sinister 6 allies. So that's kind of what you're going for, right? Making sure that he has charges. He's going to be preventing his allies from being able to ability block and cast vulnerables, which could be a really big difference maker in the amount of theory crafting that we're going to see. Now, at the end of any enemy turn, if this character does have charge as well, he's going to be attacking that enemy for especially the adjacent targets for percentage damage, applying defense down, flipping speed up, and also flipping additional positive effects. So every turn he's going to be doing something. But however, keep in mind, at the enemy turn, he does lose a charge, right? So he's going to quickly lose those charges. You really want to be building a Sinister 6 team that can allow him to be gaining and retaining these charges. So that way, he is going to be providing immense value each turn against these enemies. And as you can see here, he also provides a pretty big upgrade in terms of HP for all the Sinister 6 allies. So definitely a very strong addition into the game. This legendary is going to be 100% worth it, especially if you already have a powerful Sinister 6 team. This is the needed piece to get it to the finish line and to make them competitive. He's going to be a very strong addition. Now, I didn't want to spend the rest of this video going through all the kits and so forth, guys, because I'm sure you've probably caught wind of the other videos. So what I did do is I went through and I researched and I grabbed all the stats, actually, of all the characters from what we can see right now, as well as added my own assumptions kind of based on the trend we're seeing. So having said that, this was a big list to compile here. But as you can see, I wanted to get a really good sense of the overall HP, damage, and armor, as well as the speed for each and every one of these Sinister 6 and Superior 6 characters. And I gotta say, wow, like, look at these stats, guys, across the board. I mean, they are very, very well balanced. At the end of the day, this is going to create a huge opportunity for us to theory craft, because as you can see, there's not really many duds here in this list, right? I mean, even if they're lower in speed, characters like Rhino and Green Goblin, and the very bottom there, they excel with HP and damage, and even Rhino having S-class in both damage and armor, which gives him like a top 25 in the game, right? His speed's lower, like I said, but each of these characters are offset like that. So I mean, thankfully, in my review here, you know, there's so much opportunity for theory crafting, and every single one of these characters are classified as city. So we're gonna get a huge infusion in Dark Dimension viable characters, especially knowing now that you can actually synergize with Sinister 6 and Superior 6 characters. But more specifically, though, I do want to point out that the newer characters, right? Kraven, Spider Slayer, Lizard, on top of obviously Goblin Classic. I mean, they definitely got the better stat boost, just because with them being newer, we always see this trend. Rework characters always get so much needed love, but they can never top over the newly added characters, especially the synergies and kits. And again, this hasn't been fully listed, but I just used the averages and kind of approximated where they're going to be once those get released. So I'll keep you guys up to date if any of these averages are wrong. Let me know if anything looks off as well. But overall, in my surprise and obviously discovery here, the majority of all these characters are well balanced. They got really good stats in terms of making them competitive and viable. Now at this point, it's just a matter of matching what kind of Sinister 6 or Superior 6 synergy team do you want to do, you know. And the really cool thing I think about this update and patch that's going to be coming up pretty shortly here is that we're really getting, in essence, 2 full teams here, and that's a lot of wiggle room for opportunity for theory crafting, depending on characters that you previously invested in as well. You can make 2 very strong teams with this. But I do gotta say, I think Doc Ock with Goblin Classic, together they do really make sense, with them both being the legendary counterparts in this list, but as well being definitely the stronger and more well-balanced characters of this, and well-rounding the rest, right? They give a lot of passive bonuses obviously to the rest of the team, but as well, you know, it's a no-brainer that they were intended to be working together. We don't see a lot of C classified ratings here, just a couple reds here and there. Most of them are sitting in that A tier and B tier, and obviously a lot of them now being top in damage and top in HP as well. So I mean, this is really exciting to see. This is a very fast team as well, as you can see on the averages. Goblin Classic, Kraven, we got Lizard, Vulture, all of them rounding up some of the best, you know, some of the fastest characters in the game. So we're gonna be seeing a speedy team, but as well as a high HP and damage. And again, they are gonna have value in Cosmic Crucible and as well as War, just based on kind of the tie-outs and back to previous bonuses that we've seen in the past with their kits. So overall, guys, really happy with this addition into the game. I think it's gonna add some much needed value as well, right? So overall, in conclusion, right, this is an amazing mix and variety of characters. A really strong patch, gotta say. Despite the maintenance time, you gotta give credit where credit's due. This was a really good patch in terms of the reworks, and very excited to see how this team is gonna work in other game modes. The Dark Dimension theory crafting, they just opened a huge arsenal of different variety of characters now. I think they've heard and seen the complaints of many of those involved in Dark Dimension, but as well as the community, that there was a lack of variety, and now we're gonna get that. We're not only gonna get, you know, all these reworks, but as well all these viable options now potentially in Dark Dimension that you can mix and match, especially you know, with them consisting of bio, tech. There's only one skill, but I mean, regardless, like, there's a great mixture here of characters that you can utilize. We're gonna get some easier transitioning now in the chapters for villains, especially when they need characters like required Sinister 6 in the beginning nodes, and you're gonna have options now with these characters getting rework. It's gonna be a much easier time. And also even Black Cat's legendary event that's actually probably upcoming pretty shortly here, that required nowhere before. You know, who's to say Sinister 6 isn't now a viable option, especially with some of these new character additions and rework. So yeah, huge positive change, guys. Big patch coming, but I'm really glad to see that there wasn't really any characters kind of left behind here. Again, some of the top assumptions there with Craven, Spider, Slayer, Lizard, Goblin Classic, I approximated based on averages, based on legendaries, stats that we've seen, but very promising to say the least. So super excited. Hope you guys are too, because this is definitely going to be a pretty exciting patch to see these additions and reworks, and try to see what those strategies are going to be like involved here with the teams involved. So yeah, do let me know what you think in the comments below if you guys are excited, you're looking forward to the patch. Thank you as always, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.